And we're live. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Cre8tive Pit. It's me, Rob, Graphite. John is helping out with his mom real quick. He'll be here shortly. So I'm just going to do the intro now. We have a great guest today. We have one of my earliest influences in art, Ryan Robinson. His work is amazing. The style that is something that I've never seen before. And we wanted to get him on, talk about his work, his art, his comic book art, some of the stuff that he's doing, some of the stuff that makes him great and amazing, and just stuff that's from a different perspective than just photography and video like we normally talk about. Um, so I don't have a whole lot to say before the show, so we're going to run the intro, and then we'll bring Ryan on, and John will be on in a little bit. So we'll go from there. We'll have a little bit more to say once John gets on, and we'll go from there. It's been a couple of weeks. I appreciate everybody who has rocked with us and stuck with us. Throughout those 2 weeks. Thanks for being patient with us. We really appreciate everybody. Make sure that if you haven't already, that you click the subscribe button. We'll definitely be a lot more consistent going forward on the show. So without further ado, let me run the credits. So what's happening?
That was so dope. That intro was so dope, dude.
Man, you got to thank John for that. He kills the intros. Absolutely love them.
That was bravo. So fresh.
Man.
So fresh. So fresh.
This is my cousin, my good friend, Ryan Robinson, artist, fine artist. He started out as a fine artist. Now he's a digital artist, comic book creator, just overall creative guy. Like I said, one of my earliest influences in art. I started drawing I started getting good at drawing because of him. I remember, early on when I met him for the first time, I drew a lot, and then I saw what he was doing, and it was like so far ahead of me, so far beyond what I was doing. Like it was just completely different. Like I remember this is what I remember is I used to draw people, like comic book characters like Sabretooth and stuff like that, and my pectoral muscles were all square. And he came in and he saw it once. He was like, "Let me fix that," and he showed me like the correct shapes to put stuff in. I was like, I didn't like it at first because it was just different than what I was doing. But then I saw it, and then over time I was like, "This dude knows what he's talking about." And I've been chasing after this dude ever since. So I really appreciate you coming to hang out,
Dude, I'm so
rock
excited.
with us.
It's so good to be here on your show, man. It's very exciting. I'm so excited. This is something I love, especially what we're talking about in general. Just being a creative, being an artist, being out here and trying to make it and get your name out there and pop.
Facts. So I guess we could, to start out, tell us about you. Tell us about what you're, kind of where you came from, what you're doing now. Give us a little bit about the rundown about Ryan.
Well, for me, I mean, I've been drawing since I was 2, and like what really inspired me was probably my 5th grade teacher who really pushed me towards being an artist, being in that field because she saw something in me. I was doing work, like I did a self-portrait of me when I was like a baby and I was like 12, and she saw that and saw something in me and like it turned on a light for me. I'll never forget her name. Her name was Miss Driggs.
Hmm.
And that's someone who just always stayed with me and kept me going. And then in high school, it got a lot more serious. It was about me trying to find my path and what I wanted to do, and that's when I heavily got into painting, really getting into painting faces, doing landscapes, doing
Hmm.
still lifes, doing these things that were crafting my space, my headspace of learning, like, dynamics, light, shadow,
Hmm.
shapes, getting colors coordinating, colors down, learning color theory, getting all these things associated with what I need to do in the future to build a career, and then I got sick, and then went to college, and then got sick again.
Oh,
So
jeez.
yeah, it was a break. I
Hmm.
ended up graduating from Columbus College Art Design, but then, like, I was really, really sick. So I took a break for a long time, from like 2007 to 2014. So I took a long break, um, and didn't really do anything. It was a really rough period and a rough period of my life at that point, and it was just about surviving at that point. And then in 2014, I kind of like came back out, really got to it, but stuff was rough.
Oh,
It was
gosh.
rough. It was really rough.
Oh my
So I
goodness.
had to train myself back into like getting into that headspace, that mindset, and just continuously go, go, go. But in that spectrum, art has changed. At
Hmm.
that point, we had new things. We had, iPads, digital art, digital artists coming out, ZBrush,
Hmm.
um, extensive Photoshop upgrades and stuff. And we have like, Clip Art Studio, Procreate, all these things coming out, around this time. And I'm like, let me play with this digital art like thing, you know.
Hmm.
So I bought an iPad, So I'm like, let's try it. Let's see what I can do with it, And it was like a breath of fresh air.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I love traditional art. I still do traditional art. I'll still draw, sketch from time to time. But like for me, it was cutting out the middleman, cutting out
Hmm.
money, cutting out buying all the paint,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, cutting out the gesso, the cutting out the turpentine, cutting out the brushes,
Ugh.
and that's what like really kind of sold me right there. And like I'm like, yeah, it's fun, it's great, And then I really started learning how to play with like the program, learning the new things. But this was early, Now we're
Hmm.
talking like 2022. A lot has changed. People are marketing their own brushes,
Hmm.
marketing their own paint sets, marketing their own things. So in the early stages, it was me trying just to learn how to build layers like how I traditionally draw.
Right.
It's the same idea or the same idea how I paint. Everything is layered base. You're dropping down your first set of color like gesso when you're putting on a canvas. You're doing the same thing
Hmm.
at digital art. Like that's how I start my paintings. If I'm painting something, I'll drop like gesso color down and then put my first color down like I'm painting. Like it's no different, except it's on a screen. Now I'm not using a canvas, it's on a screen.
Right.
So I really fell in love with it and like me doing my work. But like I think the game changer was me learning how to build and learn new concepts and learn other people how they use their techniques by watching other artists and other, but not wanting to manipulate what they're doing. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, you know,
Hmm.
and show how I paint and show how I color and how I see an image and how I want to see that person or that figure or that building, whatever I'm doing in that time period for that space, and that's what I wanted to do, and then I learned that over time, and looking at like my early work to now, you can tell like the strides and the growth of where I was and where I'm at now. Yeah,
That's facts. And that's one of the things that I've absolutely enjoyed is watching the growth that you've had over the years. So real quick, let's say what's up to John.
what's up, John?
What up, man?
Bro,
Bruh, this has been a hell of a month. That's all I can
Oh
say.
my goodness.
you ain't lying. You ain't lying. You are not lying.
Bro, I don't know what it is with this month, bro. It's been extra special, bro, in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So
Long
yeah,
days.
man.
I
Nice
would
to
say
meet you,
longer
bro.
days. Yeah.
SMD Vision, what's up, man? Always for tuning in, man. Congrats. Appreciate
What's
it,
happening?
brother. Yeah, man, I'm back. I'm back. I'm the reason for the hiatus. I'm the reason for a little bit of. I've been going through it. Whew, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm
It
here,
happens.
man.
It happens, you know.
I
Life
swear,
happens.
man. I had a family crisis and that whole situation, and then I was in the middle. Rob's known this for a minute, in the middle of buying a house, and man, that's a whole thing in itself. Let me tell y'all something.
Tackle.
So
there.
specifically, I'm just going to have to keep it real. If you're a black business owner and you're trying to buy a house or a big loan, property, all that, what's up, man?
What's happening?
Bro, they put you through it.
Yeah,
they put you through it because the underwriting want to make sure that you can pay and that it's not illegal and all. You know what I'm saying? And my cousin was my realtor, and she was like, even telling, she was like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, she was like, because you black and you a business owner, like they gonna scrutinize you even harder. And man, what was supposed to take 1 month took 3 months for me to buy my house.
That's insane.
It was crazy, man.
But it's done now, right? Like, you got it.
I'm done. It's mine. Closing. All done.
That's what's up.
House is cool. All that. Family crisis is all pretty much handled, and hopefully we can get back to normal.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, what's up, Moana? Thank you for dropping by. What's happening?
Shout out to McAdams. What's up?
Yeah, that's my author right there.
Oh yeah,
really?
So that's the author for your children's book.
That's the one I did the children's book for. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
It's in the portfolio. We'll get to it.
Good stuff. So yeah, man. So I'm excited on this one because we talking about one of my favorite subjects, man. Comic books and comic writers. I came in a little bit late, but it sounds like you were talking a bit about just kind of your journey and being an artist and everything, and where you're at now and so forth. I kind of came in on it was tough. So I feel you, man. I definitely feel you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I feel you, man. I worked in comic books when I was really, really young. I got really lucky. I had a good mentor. His name was Mr. Martin King, and he drew for DC Comics. And he helped draw Death of Superman and a whole bunch of books, and then a lot of stuff for what's the offshoot of DC? I always forget the name. Dark Horse. Yeah. He did a lot of stuff for them. So me and a couple friends got to work under him, and so like we did like inking for him and ran errands, get my coffee, all kinds of stuff.
Dope.
And he owned the comic book store that's real popular and famous down here on South Street, in Philadelphia. And so it was like our hangout place, and we went every day and drew comics, and that's what we did. And I did that all the way through high school. And then I discovered girls and all that. And it changed. And it was like, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. And I got into film and all that. And then, I caught the acting and film bug and all that. And here I am.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know you drew. I didn't know you do that. So you draw a little bit too, or that's what's up. Nice.
Yeah, man. I used to win all kinds of awards, and I won a thing for Image Comics back in the day, and all this other stuff. And I drew for a couple different books and stuff. But I was just young, man. You know what I mean? And like when you're young and you're sitting in a room all day and just page after page, and all your friends outside chasing girls, and you know, it
I
is what
couldn't
it
do
was.
it.
Looking back, like I wish I would have stuck with it more, especially where things have gone. Because like I was in it right when it transitioned more into computers, when computers were coloring things more and everything was changing like that. Image was one of the first that was heavy on it compared to like DC and some of the other companies.
Yeah, Marvel. Yeah.
And they were a little late to it actually. And you know, I like this was back before Photoshop was even called Photoshop. It was called like Adobe Magic Works.
Adobe Magic something.
Yeah, way back, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm very, very familiar with the world, man. It's been a long time. I haven't drawn much in years. The most I draw is like mock-up sketches of what I'm going to shoot. That's about it.
Man.
But yeah, man, but with the respect, the love, and all that's there, man. So for sure.
That's what's up. So yeah, so we were talking about, you know, kind of your transition. Where were we? Yeah, I just, you know, just kind of going over some of the stuff that you guys. So, you know, we went to school for a little bit together at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, briefly, and then you said you went to Columbus after that. Tell me about the trip.
Columbus. Yeah, I left Art Institute of Pittsburgh because I got sick, and then I finished at the Columbus College of Art and Design. So my major was illustration. My minor was fine art. Though the odd funny of it is that I took more fine art classes than illustration classes. So most of my like final portfolio was a lot of paintings.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the goal. Like if I look back on it now, I should have took a lot more time into the illustration aspect of it, but you know, it fell into more painting, because painting is like where my heart lies. You know, it's just
your work's gorgeous, man.
Right? You know, so like what I excelled at was just, you know, portraiture, you know, still lives, landscapes, things of that nature. But like most of what I do is portraiture, like painting faces, drawing faces. You know, it was my thing, but in my own unique perspective. You know, what I feel at the time of what this painting should be.
Yeah, I'm looking at your work, and especially just how much things have changed in art nowadays and where artists are and so forth. And a lot of your stuff feels like what I see in a lot of concept artists that draw concepts for films and video games and whatever type of stuff.
And then like that was where I wanted to go down the road, like be a concept illustrator for a major studio and things of that nature. Because a lot of my friends who I graduated are now doing that. Like a good friend of mine, Brian Matei, he works for Lucasfilm. He does The Mandalorian. That's the stuff he does, and he's working on Ahsoka right now. And like I wanted to get to that point, but you know, I think for me it was just like, how would I place myself? And like the problem is the competition is so high and so heavy. So like, you know, for me, like how would I separate myself from that? You know, and then I wanted to develop my own unique style with digital art as well, because I didn't want to replicate or do what other people are doing as well. You know, and it's not how I've been at all ever, because my work has always been, you know, fine. You know, that's the thing.
That's facts.
So like it's something that I don't think people can replicate or produce, because it's my own thing. You know, and I see like this is what me and Rob were talking about earlier. A lot of people go on trends, or a lot of on-site seers, or you know, people who are hiring people are looking for that person who can copy or replicate a style.
Right.
You know, and that's just not in my teeth, unfortunately.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is when it comes to that. We experienced it on the photography side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's really every art form now. I think
it is every art form, because you can see it in graphic design, commercials, advertising,
web design, everything, music.
Design. There's a trend that focus on a certain thing too. Like you can see it in major studios like DC or Marvel. They have a specific style that they trend to do, and I can't can't roll with it.
I feel you, man. I would just say like you have a very unique style. As soon as I saw your work, because I even asked Rob, because he was like, yeah, I'm bringing my cousin. He does comic book work, and I was like, is he on the level, man? Because I got some other people coming up too, and he showed me your work, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I was like, okay, dope.
Yeah, 11's my latest one, and I just popped out later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's fire, man. I love your style,
So
bro.
it's funny. I'm looking at this right now. This is why I paused on it, because there's just stuff that I didn't notice when I first looked at it. The rainbow room in the
Yeah,
background.
she's in the rainbow room, bro.
Yeah, that's freaking dope. Like I did not catch that when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fire, man. So yeah, I mean, so are you doing like right now just more fine art, portrait, mural type stuff?
No, I mean, you'll see through it. Like I do, like
I saw the book.
My core is like I'm an illustrator, so like I'll do anything that revolves around illustration. That is like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to do fantasy characters that people know, and then like portraiture, like my Malcolm X, anything that's in that set. And then I have my children's book I just finished. Like I'm now a published illustrator,
Nice.
so I'm really excited about that I did with Anna.
Congrats, man.
And right now it's just me trying to push myself to be out there more. That's always been, I think, my drawback or my issue. I've never really put myself out there. People knew I can draw or do something of that nature, but now I'm just really trying to push myself and do jobs, get hired, do a lot of things, do commissions, just to get myself out there more, because I never really put myself out there. And I think that's always been my downfall in regards to that. Yeah.
Bro, your work's fire. Your work kind of reminds me of like a little like illustration on one side, and then like a little bit of kind of what I see with some of like the spray paint graffiti artists, not really graffiti artists, but like the spray paint artists that do more abstract type stuff. Like there's a real famous dude in Philly that I've known for years, Hammer. Your stuff kind of reminds me of his as far as like your backgrounds, but then your illustration pops out from that, and it's dope, man. Dope. And he's huge, award-winning artist and all that. Just off of his stuff looks more just like your backgrounds, let alone the illustration you're doing on top of it. So
now we're like in comic.
You got something there. You got something there.
This is comic book art right here. So like
that's fine.
Yeah, that's like my interpretation of Supergirl with her Nikes.
I like.
With her Nikes. This is a variant cover I did for a friend for his character, Lumberjacks.
Oh, nice.
I stole Terry Crews's face and put it on his character. Yeah, that's Lumberjacks. That's Morgan Iverson's character. He has a comic book. He has 3 issues out right now. It's pretty fire. It's pretty great. Yeah.
That's awesome. So
love the work, man.
Tell us about your children's book. How did you get started with that?
The thing that was so funny about it is that Awana had already published her first book. It's called The Adventures of Nakoa Nahia. Jesus, Fishing with Papa Ray. There it is. That's her first book. And then she had me on her show, which is the Moana Nui podcast. And she had me on her show to talk about my art and stuff, because like she knew me through a friend of mine, Michael Watson. He also graduated from Columbus College of Art and Design. He has his own comic book company called FSK Comics. They kind of paired together, and I got on her show, and then we started talking. And then she started talking about doing a second children's book for a book. And like we didn't really get into anything at that point, but then I just started playing around. I started making posters and stuff, and I sent her something. She's like, "Well, let's start talking." And then we created a story, and then we started mapping out stuff. But this book is completely different. It's a sequel, but like we aged the kids. They're older. It's like Goonies meets Lord of the Rings. It's more of like a really adventure
That
story.
sounds cool.
It's set in a Hawaiian cultural landscape because Moana is Hawaiian. So so we take you on a roller coaster in the second book, and it ends on a cliffhanger. And I'll be working on book 3 like in literally a week, starting like new concepts, new things, and new adventures. It's crazy. It's fun. I'm really excited about it. But this is her
Nice.
IP, and I'm her illustrator. And these are some of the posters I did for the early part of the campaign. And then it got funded on Kickstarter in November. And now the book is done. It'll be going out to people in like literally, hopefully by late June or July. So I'm really excited about it to get people's like feedback and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So tell me about you guys' process. So I've talked to another illustrator that did like children's books as well. And it was really interesting what she told me is that she didn't read the story before she made the illustrations. It was like it was a weird thing that she did.
Same thing, like because Moana like builds inspiration off like art. So like I would send her things, but like for me, I work entirely backwards. Like I would be like, I'm going to start from the back and work my way up front, you know? And that's like my thing. I don't know why it is, but it's just, it is what it is. So in this book, like, shut up, Moana, because it's true. Like, so I would create like concept art of the characters because in Papa Ray, the original book, they're real like kids. They're like no older than like 4 to 7 years old. In this book, they're like 9 and 10. So we aged them, and I created new, but keep the same aesthetic of what Papa Ray was, but I aged them. We have a villain in this book. We created a villain, and it's more fantasy. So I created like gods because in her culture, that's one of them. That's Kawana. She's a shapeshifter, like, you know, lizard people and stuff. So we that. There's gods in here, you know, temples, teleportations, all kinds of stuff. So it drove her nuts because I worked backwards. But we got there. And we found a really incredible story. Also, not to mention, there's 4 kids involved, so there was more characters. Now there's even more characters that are going to be in book 3. So we really kind of upped the ante on this one. And the creative process was establishing my concepts to her words, and then she would form a story, and then she would write the story. She gave me first half of the story, and then I would just draw the book. And then we wanted to make changes. I would make changes along the way, and then I would begin painting it. But the funny thing is that this was a short time period because we started in November and it ended in the second week of February. So it was real short. Like, so it was a very short time period.
Okay, so you guys,
I want to push it a little further and go further. So I'm going to have a little bit more time. But I love how the book turned out. It's incredibly cohesive. It's what I imagined to be because it's not like other children's books. With children's books, there's specific styles, specific trends, specific things that you see in children's books, like, you know, the wispy watercolor like style, or your graphic trees and shit like that I don't particularly fall into that gap, you know. But my images are more bright, colorful, dynamic, fun. Yeah. So yeah.
That's awesome. So
That's
one of the things that this is one of the villains or the gods?
That's Kawana, one of the guys. That's one of the pages. I think that's page 3 right there in the book. Yeah.
Nice.
Love the colors, man.
That's what I was gonna ask you about. Like when you go about, you know, your color selection, like how does that process work for you?
See, with color, honestly, Rob, I'm gonna be for real with you. It just comes out. It just pops out. Like I
Yeah.
will begin painting, and then I would feel like this needs to be there. This needs to be here. But from the start, I will pick what I'm going to do. I mean, they're gonna put if it's gonna be night, day, mid-tones, bright tones, dark tones. If I'm gonna really go edgy on this, or I'm gonna go colorful and bright on this. So with this page right here, it was set in stone that it had to be at night. So like I chose to have my light source be the waterfall, and then in the book having floating souls around Kawana that have passed on. So that was kind of like that was my little oomph to it. Like I wanted to create an ambiance, an essence, ethereal kind of feel to it, like she's otherworldly. So I chose greens, blues, yellows, dark luminescent colors. So that I don't shit, that's a really good question, Rob, because when I start, it just happens. I don't particularly map out my set of colors. I just know what colors I'm going to use when I start laying the brush down in the layer. Because in the end, I want it to be cohesive. Like it can't be busy, you know? And like with sometimes, when I can tell when my stuff gets a little too busy, I start editing and start pulling things back because sometimes it can get like that. And like for this particularly, I wanted you to feel like you're in that place, and that was the goal of me setting it. So I chose these colors. I chose these blues, these luminescent colors, these light blues, pinks, very kind of like offset colors, but they work together.
I see a little Avatar inspiration in this, like
Yeah,
it feels,
yeah, and that's where like, cause like when Jake and like what's her name was running, I'm like, yeah, let me pop that in there too, so like Nateri and Jake running through like this luminescent like fields and stuff. So I kind of was kind of that, but then it was a kind of like I had like Moana sent me a lot of references of islands in Hawaii. I kind of wanted to have that in there as well, and trees and like a lot of organicness to it because the book is pretty organic. It's like in your face kind of thing. It jumps like when you open to page one, you're in this world, but it's different. It's not like your typical like Hawaii's Hawaii, but we add fantasy elements. There's temples, there's sculptures, there's gods, there's all kinds of things that we wanted to push in this book. Yeah,
that's interesting. So is this a really word heavy story, or is it like children's book where it's not a whole
book? It's not world heavy. It's not like a novel. It's not. But like kids and adults are going to enjoy it when they read it to their kids. It is a children's book through and through. But Moana is talking about like down the road she wants to get into that realm of making it more in depth. But the book itself, unfortunately, and she doesn't believe it, it is in depth. Like even with the smallest things that she says, you get where you're going with the book, which is great about it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
She's really talented at that because she can really shape a picture with just so many minimal words, but you get the understanding of like you'll understand these characters' personalities immediately. And it's mind blowing how she does. I wish I could write. I can't.
Yeah, man, you got good work, bro. We'll definitely talk most definitely a little bit more after this. So I got some people to introduce you to, for sure, man. I got several comic book owners of some independent comic book companies that are doing pretty well. So
that would be incredible.
Yeah, man,
I mean, like
networks
like
and networks.
Thing. It's always been my thing. Rob knows that. It's always been my thing.
But they're solid, like because I mean, you could do color and it cannot, it can be
this
goofy,
is
it cannot work.
Page. This is page 11 and 12. This is one of my favorite pages.
Yeah, your colors are very almost iridescent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that right? Yeah, there's a very
Iridescent.
iridescent kind of look to them.
Yeah.
That's different. You don't see that a lot in a lot of stuff, man. Definitely cool, man.
Yeah, and these are your leads right here, and then I create.
These are the 4 characters.
Yeah, these are the 4 characters. These are the cousins on the far right. On the left is Nicole and Ohia, your main leads. And then we created another character in the corner, which is a lizard. She's throughout the book, so people to find her. That's the whole idea.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Like they do that in a few different books. I love that in the kids' books.
Kids engaged and stuff.
Yeah.
So like
that's awesome.
Yeah. And this is when they're jumping off cliff, because in Hawaii, a big sport is called they're cliff diving.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just cliff diving off this island that you'll see in the book at the beginning. But the book takes a big change in the middle. So big change, a big switch. So
yeah, awesome.
That's cool, man. So yeah,
yeah, that's 25 and 26 on the page. That's our villain. He's called the Nunu. He represents a lot of stuff in the upcoming book. And that's Kawana, our god, right there. And, saving our main lead character. Yeah.
I like, man. Seriously cool. Love your color spectrum is really.
That's
really
the cover for our book right there. So it'll be The Adventures of Nicoya, Shadows of the Ancient. That's what it's called. Shadows of the Ancient.
Now when's it releasing? When's it coming out?
The campaign was successful in December. We raised over $13,000 for it.
Congrats.
And it should be dropping hopefully either by the late June, early July. It's already here. We're just waiting to get it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Nice. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of tell us a little bit. SMD for sure. Yeah, the colors are dope, man. So tell us a little bit about just kind of like, but besides the children's book, do you have any other projects kind of lined up and that you're working towards?
Right now, no. I'm doing a few commissions for people who back the campaign. Those will be finished by the end of June. I got one finishing by Saturday. The other one will be finished by the end of June. And then I have me and Moana have been going really heavy on book 3. Really heavy on book 3. So that's probably what I'm going to go into after. But I have nothing else currently lined up for me at all at this point in time. And book 3 won't get serious until probably the fall. But I'm going to be working on concept pages, building it, because we're now building worlds at this point. So so yeah, we're building worlds. So I'm pretty stoked about it. But no, I don't have anything lined up except book 3 right now.
Yeah. Gotcha. So kind of where do you see, I guess we're just going to talk a little off point here, because once again, I love comic books, man. I love illustration and artwork. So we don't always get to talk about this because we're more usually, with photographers and actors and whatever.
We can go in.
So how do you feel about the comic book industry right now?
I am more heavily loving the indie community of comic books. I am not liking mainstream comic books for DC and Marvel. I'm more involved and heavily into the indie world. The indie world is a very, very beautiful in coming together and supporting indie comic artists and writers in regards to that. So like the people that I'm involved in, like FSK Comics, Fourth Wall Productions, Burning Spear, which is Moana's company. It's a very, very communicative experience, and they produce really incredible books. And it's sad that people do not tap in or know or invest or look at these people who have extreme talent, you know,
Mm.
more so than what they're producing right now. You know, there's a lot of Neil Gaimans out there, a lot of Frank Millers, a lot of, you know, Chris Claremont's, George Perez's out there right now in the indie community, and they're not looking at that, you know. And I understand that, you know, and it's hard to break into because, like I said, from the jump, you know, people are wanting specifics and wanting to follow a trend. Like they do follow trends, you know. I was looking at things like, you know, X-Men, they're more like, you know, the Hellfire or Met Gala, going off trends and stuff. Like it's just
Right.
things of that don't appeal to me. You know, I need deep intellectual forward thinking stories that are compelling.
Yeah, I
Not
don't get.
derivative, not
Yeah,
derivative or rehashed or rebooted or things of that nature. I don't need that. You don't get that in the mainstream, but you get everything else in the
With the
indie.
indies. They
Mhm.
can take
Yeah.
more risks. Yeah.
I agree with you, man. Like
Lot more.
I don't know what's going on right now with Marvel and DC, specifically in the comic books, before they get to the movies. I don't know if it's just because the movies have so, you know, engulfed
Saturated
and
the
overwhelmed them
industry.
that
Yeah.
like they're kind of lost now, or they're just like, well, what do we do now? Like the
Right.
movies are bigger than us, even though we're kind of the same and everything else. And it's like they got to somewhat follow the movies, but then they're trying to also do something to get people into comic books. So it's like,
Right.
well, let's
'Cause
just go real LGBTQ, but then they don't even know what they're doing
that's
with
a
that,
trend.
and it's
You
goofy
know, that's
as
a
heck,
trend.
and like
That's what I don't
exactly.
like. You're
And
using trends because, like,
and I'm watching, and I see like Image Comics, for instance, and like Image is killing it right now. They went, they were, you know, Image for a while was trying to go more mainstream back in the day,
Mhm.
and then now they just said screw it, we're just completely indie, and
that's
so
what
many
people should be doing.
successes are happening off of that. From you know, what's the name in Walking Dead and Invincible to, I mean,
Yeah.
right now the lineup for Image and what's getting ready to come is crazy. A lot of people don't know. It's, you know, you gotta be into that stuff. But like I know Michael Kugler's getting ready to direct Root. What is it called? Roots. Shoot, it's a black comic book from Image Comics. It won a couple awards. It's Bitter Roots. That's what it's called.
Yeah, better. I know what you're talking
Yeah, it's like a
about.
Monster Hunter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Ryan Coogler's directing that. Netflix bought heavy into what's the name's property that made like Wanted and
Oh yeah.
his one that's already on Netflix that didn't do so
Miller has a
well.
whole thing with Netflix.
Jupiter and all that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Miller cut a real big deal with Netflix. Though
Yeah. There's a bunch
projects are landing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Granted, the anime was really good.
Yeah.
The Super Crooks.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's more coming, of course. I think the biggest one everybody's waiting for, I think HBO is going to do something with it from everything I keep hearing. Shoot, what's the name of it? TV Heads. Saga.
Yeah. Yeah.
So love Saga.
Yeah, Sandman looks really good too.
Yeah, Sandman actually looks like Sandman. It looks like they
really,
took the
really
comic
good.
verbatim.
Yeah,
it looks like they
off the
gender
comic.
swapped some people, but who cares?
Yeah, it looked like Sin City for a second. I was like, are we really getting that? Yeah,
It
but
looks good. It looks really, really good. I'm
it does look
surprised.
good.
I turned Rob on to Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman was
he didn't know
interesting.
about
Like
Sandman.
I had
Love
never
Sandman.
read him before, but it's very interesting.
That's what I love about indie comics is like
Welcome
the
to
writers just go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And the
like,
artists
there's
follow.
no holding back, and that's the thing with indie. There's no holding back. I just wish that people, but it's just like hustling. I wish people would come at a table, really invest their time into these artists and look at them and, like, you know, discover them. Like, you know, like how they rediscovered Milestone Comics for DC. Like they're just reinventing that it's always been there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and they never really invested in Black creators because they wouldn't. So,
and now it's heavily changing. So now they're like, oh, we need as many as we can get.
We need to get these guys.
How many people are denied because they had an urban art style and didn't conform to their style. Like, it's ridiculous. You know, the things that people were told every day.
There's so much talent out there right now. It's ridiculous.
And it's like comics and artwork has done the kind of the same thing that that photography's done. So because it's so accessible now, the tools are so inexpensive now, you can get a lot of people who are really, really good, you know, that just didn't have access before. They just didn't have the access to promote their stuff, to show it off, to make sure that other people saw it. It's insane, the people that I see, you know, just go from garbage, like just they're not good, and 5 years later they're amazing.
Just go on DeviantArt.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you'll see so much to be like,
Exactly.
yeah, I gotta keep practicing.
Oh my gosh,
like
DeviantArt.
But they never
DeviantArt,
notice. It's just a missing link. Like, I have a friend, Ian Moss. He's an incredible artist. Like, there's very few artists that I will follow because I know their work. And then there's other artists that I won't follow because it's just copy and paste.
I say this, man. Like, I don't even mind you copying a style, especially you say specifically for comic books, right? I don't even mind you copying a style if you get with a really good writer and y'all make something really amazing and different, special. The problem is that, you know, everybody's trying to get into the big leagues, and I get it. I get it 100%. We all want to shine. We all want to do our thing. We all want to make a lot of money. I get it. But it's like, it's just, bro, there's so much talent out here. If you just,
it's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny. Like, I really don't read superhero comic books anymore. Like I'll take a gander every now and then when somebody tells me something's really good out. Like, you know, the one run of X-Men, a few things here and there, blah, 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 blah. But for the most part, I'm completely indie, man. Like, almost all the comics I read, you know, from, like, once again, Bitter Root, I just finished not too long ago because I heard about it a million times and never got to it. Saga I was on from the jump. I'm trying to think what else recently that was really good. It's almost all Image. Almost everything I read is Image. I'm trying to think what else recently and they're all getting turned into movies now, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and that's what's
all
really
of them
cool about it. I love that aspect of it, that these people are getting Netflix deals, movie deals, all that stuff. I love that. I love when people succeed. That's the best thing about it. I love when people succeed.
Yeah, so I think there's still a voice out there. I think you know, I hate to say it, but like, I think Marvel, DC and all the rest of them, I think that the comic book movies, the superhero movies, I should say, they're doing a little too many too fast. You know what I mean? Star Wars and all of it. Like, it's just a little too much. It's like, I was just watching Obi-Wan and I was like,
we're in the streaming
this is not good.
This
is really not good.
A lot of people were saying, like, I haven't watched Obi-Wan yet because I want to wait until they're all out and then watch them all at once. Bro. But everybody's saying that it's just, you know, just nostalgia. Like, it's just, you know, there's Darth Vader. Oh, I remember him. You know, kind of this nostalgia, you know, this, you know, that thing where they're like, look at this guy. Oh, don't you like him? And it's not a good story.
What's up, Elliot? He says they want to release as many as possible now.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree with you that they trying to bang out the buck. I mean, granted, keep in mind, Disney spent like how much they spent on Lucasfilm, $6.5 billion or something. They're still trying to make it back, as well as because you remember they bought Lucasfilm and Fox right around the same time, so they spent
a lot,
$500 billion.
Yeah,
like, they got to make all that back. So I get that. But it's like, if you're going to do it right. Just make, you have so much access to everything.
Like,
but that's the problem.
So many stories.
It's too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
Yeah.
It's too many chefs in the pot making the same stew until they mess it up. And that's what's going on. And it's like, and then they're taking care, like, we're going there. Screw it. Here's my problem with Disney, and especially Lucasfilms. And I think the mistake that they made. They won real big with Marvel, right? Because Marvel was nostalgia, but it was a nostalgia that no one ever seen brought to life. It was what we all wished for years, seeing our favorite superheroes and characters really brought to life in a respectful way that we always wanted to see. So when you saw that happen, it was like, yes, and everything that it turned into, right? Billions of dollars and all that. I think Disney thought they could do the same thing with Star Wars, but what they haven't realized was Star Wars was already a movie. It was already out. We already saw all of it.
We don't need the nostalgia.
We don't. Like you
want
put a
something
lightsaber in a ship, we know it's Star Wars.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we want something new. We want something different, and it's not clicking for them.
It's weird. Like, so like,
it doesn't have to, because people keep watching.
Yeah, people watch it because of Star Wars. They'll go like they're like, it's Star Wars, I'm going. But it's so weird. Like, I don't understand why. It's like they've remade the first movie with the newest Star Wars the trilogy.
Are all trash.
Oh my gosh, it's like when I saw the first one, and I felt the same way about Tron. It was like, you just remade the movie. Like, there was no good reason for that.
I disagree with you on Tron.
Tron
2 was fire. I'm sorry.
I don't know about Tron 2, but the Tron 2. Oh, you're talking about Tron? Yeah, the new Tron. I hated it.
Was it a Legacy? What?
Yeah, Tron Legacy. I hated it. The new Tron. I hated it because it was the same movie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
freaking gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. Of course, I'm not saying it didn't look good, but the story was just Tron again. Like, it wasn't really. There was no difference. It was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is that they're doing. Why they can't come up with a new story.
I will say, if anybody's ever seen I don't mean to cut you off, but if anyone's ever seen the animated version of Tron, they made an animated show that ran for like 3 seasons. It's really good. It's actually made by the same dude that did Ninja Scroll.
Oh,
and like, it's dope. And what's his name? Frodo plays the main character, and as far as the voice, and it's actually really, really good. And I'm like, why didn't they do this for the story?
Right. It's the story. Like, I mean, I'm a visual, I'm a visual art, porn nerd. Like, I love that.
But if you don't got a good story,
but the story was like, and it's the same thing with Star Wars. I mean, it looked great, but it was like, why really we're going back to the Death Star, and we gotta get a secret code to get to the Death Star to blow up the middle. Like, it's
all a rehash.
Then let's inject the female character, not explain where she comes from. We just need to feel. Let's put her in there. Like,
and she's like freaking Jedi Jesus. Like, why does she have to?
Don't even get me started on Star Trek.
Oh my gosh.
We don't talk about Trek here because all
Granted, Strange New Worlds is pretty
Strange New Worlds is good though.
I like Strange New Worlds.
I haven't watched the Star Trek in a long time.
I gotta keep it real though.
But everything else is
as good as Strange New Worlds is. Orville is still better.
Yeah. Orville?
Yes,
which is supposed to be a parody, and it's better.
And it's like they went straight Star Trek now. It's like not even a parody.
So yeah, it's not even a parody anymore. It's just his own thing that's better than Star Trek.
Own little offshoot. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
it's sad, man. It's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, I would equate, like, we have lost. I think right now money is the war. All these IPs that you see that are coming out that would never be made into anything is now being made into something due to the fact that we have the streaming wars. It's all money. It's all capitalizing off IPs that will probably never see the light of day if we didn't have Disney Plus, Paramount, HBO, Hulu, Netflix, and all that stuff.
All of these things.
But here's the thing that people don't realize behind the scenes. This stuff is turning into a really weird gamble that for some reason they all want to play. I get it. I kind of get why you want to play the game, but it's like,
I guarantee you,
bro. Like, this is someone who's invested. Like, I got a lot of stocks in Netflix. Yeah. I watched that plummet, and
bro, I tell you right now,
quick, a bunch of everything else.
Netflix,
and it's like,
to be honest with you,
and I knew they were in the red for the longest.
The last thing are Apple, Disney, and HBO. Everything else is going to die. I guarantee.
You think Hulu and Netflix will go?
It's owned by Disney, so that will.
Oh yeah, Disney. Oh yeah, Disney.
So the only 3 that are going to last is Apple, because Apple has all the money in the world. Amazon has all the money in the world. HBO and Disney have. Netflix will die. Peacock will die. All these other Paramount is going.
I agree with you.
It's all going to die.
Paramount's not that bad though. Paramount got some stuff.
Yeah, I like Paramount.
I like Paramount.
It's just, I know
But-
Netflix won't be here in the next 10 to 20 years.
You know what Netflix messed up with, man? Netflix should have taken over the anime market. They should have become what Crunchyroll and
They are. No, I
No,
disagree with that. They
they
are.
sh-
More
no, they
people
don't.
watch Netflix than they do Crunchyroll and the rest of that stuff.
But
like
Crunchyroll
most
has
people
all
get
this.
their anime or introduced to anime.
They
through
might get
Netflix.
introduced, but they
So-
don't have the content. Like Netflix
They
should
don't
have
need it though.
Oh, but they do. You got to have the content.
If
Like,
you
but
wanna
see,
get real on
But you
it,
gotta remember, anime is still a small pocket. It's not as big as you think. It's big, but it's still not as huge
yeah,
as
but
you would think.
original programming and content for Netflix, it's not a lot. It's
Mhm.
not a lot. After Stranger Things goes, that's done.
I still kind of
Like,
disagree. Like
They don't
Well,
have. They have
so
a lot of
this
content,
is what I'll say.
a lot of
As far as
world-
original content, Netflix
Yeah.
still has more than all of them. That's a fact. The,
Well,
the
yeah.
only difference is the others own more IP than Netflix has.
Mhm. Which
Right?
is
Paramount,
where-
HBO, whatever. They got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of IP that Netflix can't get
Which,
to.
yeah, after Lord
But
of the Rings,
Netflix has
everybody's-
more
it's gonna-
original content, whether you
Yes.
like it or not. Reality
Right.
show, crazy stuff. Now, the one thing Netflix, here's my thing. This is where I think Netflix messed up more than anything else. I don't think Netflix was that off from everyone else. They still were ahead of the pack in a lot of ways. I
Mhm.
think where Netflix really messed up was,
Yeah.
from everything I'm seeing, it was that it was a good strategy and a bad strategy. They just didn't see it coming because it's so new. Netflix had gotten kind of all the subscriptions they could possibly get from America right out the bat, right?
Mm.
So they had to switch to international, and they did that. So they started investing heavily in international films and all that kind of stuff. My bad, Elliot. And all that kind of stuff, and going real hard on that. And I don't think that was a bad thing, but it did kind of hurt them because it alienated more of their American population. Because this is a problem that people forget. America is not the big cities. It's not what makes the majority of America. What makes the majority of America is the Midwest.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. It's more,
The
not country really, but rural and
Yeah.
Republican and all that kind of stuff. It's like, and they have no interest in watching what's going, some movie from France and whatever, and dub and subtitles and
No
whatever.
one has no interest in watching a German film.
So exactly.
Nah.
So it was like they kind of alienated a little bit of their already audience. So they started turning over to some of the other networks to see what was going on. So I'm gonna drop Netflix for a while, go to Paramount, see what's up, and on and on and on it went. And then Netflix picked up more of international than the other ones have, and they still do have more than them.
Mhm.
But they lost. It's a weird tug of war because it's just so new. How could you
Mhm.
know? How
yeah,
really
you don't
could
know you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You're blazing the trail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Elliot says Netflix messed up when they let go of The Office. I think they had. So Netflix's deals are weird. I think more than a lot of the other networks. Some of the other networks own all their property. Like Disney owns everything they make. Right? It's not going nowhere else. Disney owns it. Netflix
It's the same for
kind
Apple.
of does like a deal.
Yeah, it's
where, like,
a
they'll
weird.
run it for a little while and then they gotta let it go.
Yeah.
So they can't.
Or they'll do the Netflix originals aren't really their stuff. You know what I mean? Like Baki and the stuff that they didn't actually make, but it's called
when
Netflix
they buy
original.
other shows, yeah.
Like it's a kind of a weird thing. Like I never understood kind of how that works.
Yeah, most of the anime stuff they buy because it's not expensive. You know what I mean? As far as what they're selling, like that they can buy that stuff. But like the big shows like Friends and all that stuff, they don't own that IP. You know what I mean?
feel
They're
bad
just leasing.
for the people who lost their jobs when they cut the animation department and Netflix and stuff. I feel for them and stuff. Because,
Did that just like recently happen too?
Yeah, that recently just happened, and like that's unfortunate because the fact that they lost a lot of subscribers and stuff, and that's the thing about why Netflix doesn't produce shows for more than like 2 to 3 seasons, because they're more about their capital gain for subscribers. This is all a money thing in the end.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it keeps all of it going.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, also, the international game and everything's changed as well, just because of technology. Cameras got cheaper, it became easier.
Yeah, COVID's not around anymore. That was another big thing. People are not
changed
as much TV now.
COVID definitely changed everything. There was definitely there was an influx that I feel like they treated like it was going to be
Forever.
there all the time. Yeah, and that's not.
It wasn't.
They should have kind of seen that coming. Like,
Yeah,
this is obviously an influx. We're not going to be locked down forever.
Yeah,
people are going to start leaving their houses again.
SMD Vision says, I didn't know about Netflix until Squid Games. I don't.
That was COVID time.
I don't believe that. Everybody knew about Netflix.
Man, listen, those K dramas, they're like, a lot of them are really good. Like, they're super interesting stories that are just I enjoy it. Like, they're really good
their
stories.
action dramas are everything.
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
What was it? A man with no name. Oh my God, so many good ones.
There's one, like the ones that are like they're like freaking isekai in real life, like the one where they got transported to some other city and they had to play games in order to get out.
No, that wasn't anime.
But yeah,
they just remade it.
They just remade it as a K drama. But yeah, a lot of those things, like Sweet Home is freaking interesting. Like, just great shows, man. Like, just really interesting stuff. They're not.
I mean, the
stories can be made, man. We're just not. I don't know why Americans aren't making them anymore.
Yeah.
It's IP, man. It's
That's why I like A24 so much, bro. That's why I like A24 so much.
A24,
bruh. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
The goddamn
so
movie
good.
15 years.
I'm so happy for Michelle, yo. I've been a huge fan for years. It's so good.
She got her due.
And here's the crazy part: when you're watching it, you can tell it's low budget. You can tell they didn't make it with a lot of money, but you don't care. You still respect the hell out of every second of the film. It's just so good.
I mean, they're using like, what are they, like the little AirPods as like time.
Yeah, but it works. Like, it all makes sense.
It works so well.
Like, the editor is bombing that film. Like, he's got to win an award. He's got to win. He's got to win an Academy Award. The whoever edited that film did such, like, there's scenes in that you'll watch. You'll just be like, whoa, that had to suck to edit.
Last 45 minutes of that movie is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. I mean, there's still good films out there. That, of course, I have to say it, Top Gun. Go see Top Gun.
I'm okay with that.
Go see Top Gun. It's that good.
I don't like Tom Cruise. There's only like movies I like Tom Cruise in.
He's the last freaking Hollywood star there is.
Sorry,
No. He's the last Hollywood star there is. So what if he believes in aliens? Who cares? It's probably right. Dude, have you seen him? He's 60-some years old. He doesn't look a day over like 35.
That's wild.
That's why he eats babies.
He eats babies.
Probably does. I don't know. But Top Gun is actually, there's scenes in that film. First of all, you can tell, like, they're flying the planes. That's the first thing. They're really flying them. And the setups that they did to show that, and just everything of how they actually, you can tell nothing CGI. You can tell, like, they shot all of this, and it's like, that's crazy. And it doesn't suck. Like, it really pays off of the movie, off of the original, and like, it's just good. Like, it puts a smile on your face. I'm sorry. I was in the theater.
Is it just fun action type of
Oh,
it's nostalgia. It's
good popcorn movie.
A good popcorn movie. Good, like, it hits all the notes you want it to hit. Like, even when it comes on, you're just like,
that's why I'm not seeing
I remember this.
The new Jurassic Park movie, because it's
I heard that's horrible.
Everybody's calling it. I'm not gonna go waste my money. I'm not.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'll wait till it come out.
I heard that was, once again, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
And too many stories.
I heard it goes from dinosaurs to bugs.
Are you serious?
I heard too.
Serious.
Like,
bugs,
some crazy stuff.
I thought for a second I thought you were going to say robots, and then I would have been like, man.
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm still waiting for Fast and the Furious to combine with Jurassic Park and make Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
That would be fantastic.
I'm there for that.
I will watch that. I will watch that. I don't care how many movies Fast and Furious makes. I will watch them all. I don't care how dumb they get, how outlandish.
Dude, if they're smart, like, certain stuff is stupid. Good stuff you should do.
Like, they're terrible. They are absolutely horrible. I will watch every single one.
It was 5. Everything after that has been just awful.
They're superheroes now.
They're horrible, and I don't care. I will watch them all.
Yo, if they're smart, if they're really, really smart, if they so much care about money and they're really smart, they need to combine Fast and Furious with Transformers.
Oh, geez, that would be fantastic.
Hold up, I got it.
Oh.
I need to write it. I just need to write it.
I will,
Fast and hear me out. Fast and Furious, Transformers, merge them together with Mattel and Mask.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Fire! Pay me.
Mask. Like who even brings up Mask and like that Mask?
It's all Mattel. They own
That's true.
Transformers.
That's facts. That's facts.
Pay me. F you, pay me.
I want to see Vin Diesel tell Optimus about the power of family.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch Dolph Lundgren than Punisher. Yo, that Punisher is still my shot though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that Dolph Lundgren Punisher was dope.
Yeah, he kills all the
Yeah.
Yakuza with that.
Oh my
original
gosh.
80s with his bad like airbrush beard. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's up?
Granted, what's the name does make amazing Punisher. What's his name?
What's in that? Yeah, from
Walking Dead.
Walking
whatever.
Dead. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
He's amazing as Punisher.
Yeah, he was really good.
I hope they don't screw him up in whatever Disney's about to do. He really was. I pray they don't mess up whatever they're getting ready to do with him.
What are they about to do? Because I know they're doing.
I heard it's not
doing
going to be
Blade.
violent and all this goofy stuff.
Wait, are they doing? Oh my gosh! Please tell me they're not giving them the new
Blade. They're doing a Thunderbolts movie. Like I can't with Marvel anymore.
They're doing it all. They're just like we're going to do it all.
I just
want to do it all.
I just hope
I'm not mad.
I'm
not mad at that. They got to make that money back. I'm not really mad at that. I just wish
invested. Like
I just wish they would let go and just let Marvel kind of needs to start backtracking a little bit and actually doing a little bit more like DC and like let's just make these like separate movies that just do their thing. So
not having to make a whole universe that's all cohesive all the time. They really do need to bring the X-Men. Like if they go back and do X-Men, they that's what they need to do more than anything. Because
we're here. Let's have this conversation.
X-Men for until what 2020 like until the Avengers started coming out, until Iron Man movie, X-Men was Marvel. Nobody cared about the Avengers. X-Men was Marvel. Marvel is X-Men. They need to go back to the X-Men.
They're going to. They're getting it.
Well,
that's a lot to. From what I hear, they want to do it somewhat right, where they're going to do individual stories to introduce them and bring them eventually.
That would be nice
together.
Starting with
which is what they should. It should be its own separate like Marvel universe not universe, but like the same way they built all the Avengers, they should kind of do that with the X-Men.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So
that would be dope to and have them fight Apocalypse or something at the end. Like whatever.
So we're here. Let's have this conversation. Who do you think should be the next Wolverine?
The next Wolverine.
I already know who's the next Wolverine.
I don't even know who
I can't say it because I'm on YouTube. I actually get in trouble. We'll actually get cut off for it.
Wow.
Who do you think should get us cut off?
Jeez, I don't even.
For me, I like Pablo. What's his name from Halo? He would make a cool Wolverine.
He's too tall,
but he's tall.
Yeah, we need.
He's way too tall.
He's
taller than Hugh Jackman.
Who we gonna find as 5'3"?
Yo, go back.
That's what I want. I want like a short Wolverine.
Let's go back.
That would be dope.
Did anybody watch Halo?
No, I did not watch that.
Oh my god,
I did not watch that.
Seven was trash.
So
I didn't watch that.
Forget the fact, even the story. It looks like a sci-fi channel show.
Oh geez, no, I'm not watching it. I refuse.
Horrible.
I refuse.
It was not that bad, bro.
Yeah, it was, bro. some of the scenes where the aliens showed up,
bro.
It looked like the Sci-Fi Channel. It looked like, what was that show on the Sci-Fi Channel? It's called like not Sanctuary. What was the name of it? It was like their last like big budget thing they tried to do. It had a weird name, but like it looked the same. Like,
Battlestar Galactica. That's
not Battlestar. No, that actually looked good. I forget the name of it, but it was bad. I was like, oh, this is horrible.
Not the best. It might not.
The CGI was terrible. The story was like why?
The
Why would
story
you mess
was-
up a simple
Story
story?
was
Like
lackluster.
all you had to do was follow the story. Like,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like how do you mess up Halo? Like the story is it's already there. Like
it's already there.
It's already like
And
from what I
everyone wants
understood.
to see it.
And like what they from what I heard, like people they just did their own thing entirely. Like they didn't care about any of the IP. They didn't care who he was, what Master Chief was doing. They they had him taking off his mask and stuff. Like,
I'll give you this: Halo is not action filled or action packed at all.
Are you
It's
serious?
horrible, bro.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
it's not.
Yo,
It's
this
like-
is what Halo should have
it's
been.
like
Halo
three
should have been
years
Band of
back.
Brothers. It should have been a
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
And then you kind of backtrack the story of how
Through the
Master Chief through
With
flashbacks, and whatever.
and stuff. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it should just be a straight campaign
Flashbacks
rocking
go
it.
by like a human antagonist. That would have worked better for the movie.
Horrible, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How they did, like that offshoot for like Halo Reach. That movie they did back in the day.
Oh
with
yeah,
the kids
yeah.
and stuff.
That was better.
That was better than Halo. That's what it should have been.
And that was cheesy. Like, oh my God.
It was that. It wasn't the best.
Yo, they have a whole separate story with this Asian girl that got nothing to do
to do with anything. Yeah.
It doesn't tie back into the plot. It doesn't anything. It just ends, and it's like, why was that even
That's
there?
where they dropped the ball heavily. This person.
That's
can
wild.
go.
Oh, it
You
was
can
so
die.
horrible, man. I tried to hang in there, and I was like, "This is just terrible."
I took it. I
How?
took it the whole route, but like I was done after episode 7. I was like, "This is trash."
All right, I can't contain it. I gotta say a little something. All right, so this is all I can tell you who the new Wolverine is. And
Man,
it's a
don't get
good
us
choice.
don't get us kicked
banned.
off.
I'm not.
Don't get
It's a
banned.
good choice.
Don't
That's
get
all I'm
banned.
going to say. He was one of the actors in Sons of Anarchy. That's all I'm saying.
I know who it is. I know exactly who it is.
Think about it.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
Choice.
We'll leave it there on
It's a
Wolverine.
good choice.
But yeah, I mean,
And no, Elliot, he's not 6 foot. He's the
Yeah.
right everything. He's the right.
Yeah, we need somebody who's 5'3", man. That's what we need. I want to see some tiny, stocky, like
They was on Harry Potter for a little while.
yeah, I can
Who?
see Daniel Radcliffe being a good.
They
Wolverine.
wanted him to be it, but I think who
Huh.
I'm hinting
He
at
is- Like,
is
he's-
lock and done. I think he signed the contract.
that's interesting. I don't know if Daniel Radcliffe. That's interesting. I don't know if I see him with the attitude, man. I don't see him.
All I can say is who they chose, if it's true, and I think I got a pretty good source. I think everybody's gonna be very happy.
I'm with it.
I'm with
We
it
shall
too.
see. Now, who do you think should play Gambit?
I still think Channing Tatum's good.
Yeah, you like Channing Tatum as Gambit?
I think he's fine as Gambit. Channing Tatum has earned his stripes, bro. I think
I'm not mad at
he's
Channing.
good at comedy. Like I think he's earned his stripes. I've seen some test reels of the stuff he's done with Gambit. I think he's fine.
Man, it's funny. Like how many people they did. Remember Wizard? The comic
Does
book.
that still come out?
No,
The
I don't think so.
magazine? Wizard
Yeah, the
magazine. I used
Wizard
to love
magazine.
Wizard magazine.
I used to love Wizard, but I remember them. They would always have the who should play who in the Marvel movies,
Mhm.
and they did. A bunch of those people actually did get it.
Right.
The one that was
Yeah.
a bit of a disappointment was Storm. It was Halle Berry's Storm. I thought that we all thought that would be great, and it was.
I
not.
never thought that was great.
It
I
was
always
not.
knew it was. Well, back in the day, everybody knew it was. What was her name? Iman or whatever, married to
Mm.
David Bowie.
Mhm.
Everybody knew she was Storm. That was who they modeled Storm after. And I was like,
Mhm.
why wouldn't you? But
Why
she's
would
too
you
old
use her?
now, of course.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Storm now.
Well,
Well, I mean,
it would be cool to see. Like I would want to see a Storm and Black Panther relationship movie like that. That needs to happen at some point.
Well, now
Well, yeah.
that's
Not
going
happening now.
Well, I wonder are they gonna recast? Are
No,
they gonna recast
No.
T'Challa?
No.
They already made it. The movie's damn
Well,
near
yeah,
done.
yeah. But are they gonna? They're not gonna
They're
have
not
one.
recasting them.
I think
Maybe
that's
down the road later,
one of
but
the worst mistakes they've ever made.
Not recasting him.
Yeah.
They should have recast him. Yeah.
I mean,
because we need T'Challa. We need T'Challa
what I
in this
what
in the
I
universe.
heard that they're going with the storyline for now anyway. I heard things and I heard some already good things.
Hmm.
So because I mean it's not a secret now. Namor is definitely in Black Panther.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
And who did
there's
and,
been, like,
and what they're doing with
art
Namor
stuff,
and the way they figured out how to flip it since Chadwick died, like it's interesting. So I'm not. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
I believe in Ryan Coogler. I'll just leave it at that.
I believe in Ryan Coogler too.
I believe in Ryan Coogler. So
I
I'll
agree.
leave it at that. So yeah, man. I mean, it's. Let me ask you this question, man, Ryan. What are you reading any comic books right now?
I'm reading a bunch of indie comics, to be honest with you.
What
Like
are you reading,
people,
sir?
people that I know, like Spider Squirrel, Green Zone, God, a lot. FSK, of course, Hot Shot, 5 Star, things of that nature.
You said Firestar?
No, 5 Star. It's a character written by Tony Clapper. I read a lot of stuff. I follow Unlikely Heroes. I read all their stuff like Power Broker and things of that nature.
Nice.
I just read a lot of indie comics because it's just more up
Where
my
it's at.
alley right now. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I would love to work for like Marvel Studios and things of that nature, or
No, you wouldn't. They don't pay well.
be in that role. But like, I just want to be out being in my field. You know, I'm like, I don't want to be doing. I want to be in my field where my craft lies, because that's where I find most of my peace. You know, so that's honestly the goal where I want to be. But in regards to reading comic books, I mean, like, I still read Spawn from time to time, and read.
I miss Spawn. Like I
God
should
bless
get
Todd
back.
McFarlane.
Yeah,
Never stopped.
Yeah, I miss Spawn. I need to
Never
get back into
stopped,
Spawn.
bro. He never
Never
stopped.
stopped. Yo, Todd McFarlane is
Hey,
my
300
ultimate hero in
issues
comic books.
Spawn, bro.
Yeah,
That's
Spawn is definitely one of my favorite comics of all time. I love that character.
Hellboy is also another fave of mine. Of course, like old school Watchmen, you know, Sandman. I always.
What did you think of the series, the HBO series?
It was
Watchmen.
I
loved it too. I see a lot of people that hate on it.
I give all the love to Damon Lindelof. Is one of the best written one-season shows I've ever seen in my life,
bro. Like the whole interaction between that one episode with the date with her and Mr. Manhattan, and like what happens if you dated a god that could tell you how your fate and everything already pans out, but still makes you fall in love with him.
Yep,
that's wild. Yeah.
It's so like
the
so
show was
beautifully
absolutely
written.
stunning. It was incredible. That's one of the shows that will only be here in one lifetime. Like that's the thing. Like when you got something special, you're rolling hard on it. It could get better. Like one of the best season finales of all time that I would never. Series finales is 6 Feet Under. Final episode is a masterpiece. Like I think for me, a good written show is Breaking Bad. Another great choice.
Yeah.
Like, there's only very few shows in my pantheon that I consider masterpieces.
Since we're talking about shows, let's just go there. Best show ever made. What do you think? It should only be one answer.
What's your answer? Because we might disagree.
The Wire.
The Wire is in my top 5.
There's no better show ever made than The Wire. I'm sorry.
Yeah, The Wire is incredible. Yeah.
Give me one show that is written everything better than The Wire. Don't worry, I'll wait. Game of Thrones had a chance in there.
No, they could have. They could have.
Game of Thrones
they screwed that up.
They failed.
They fell at level 7 and 8.
Yep.
Half of 7 was good. The rest of
freaking
was straight trash.
They had us. We were so like the greatest ever.
Yep, they had a chance.
Dude, once
they had a chance.
Once they made Khaleesi like just drawn out and crazy and shit, I was like, come on. How are we gonna make this switch like that? Like this? Don't.
And now nobody cares about whatever the new thing they're about to bring out.
Oh, dude. I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless.
I'm gonna watch it, but like
yeah, I'm good.
Like,
we're not. It's never going to be with the other one.
To watch it, you know.
But yeah, I can't think of a better show than The Wire, bro.
No,
yeah,
The Wire's definitely the best TV show ever.
Stars.
Some people would say The Sopranos. I wasn't big on it.
I wasn't big on Sopranos, bro.
You know,
yeah, Sopranos was major. Like that was a major show.
It's a good show. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
ain't The Wire, bro. Like The Wire. Do you understand? Like almost every crime drama, whether movie, whatever that's made, they take something from The Wire.
From The Wire,
yeah.
Yep.
Let alone, I know actors personally that like they're still working today just because
They were in
they
the
were
wire.
on the wire.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. Like if you were on the wire, like you're set for life. Like every actor that was on the wire, I don't care if you was just like a background. Like you work.
Alba's early work. That's a lot of
geez.
people's early work. A lot of
everybody, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys like Ozark or Breaking Bad better? How do you guys feel with those two shows?
Breaking Bad. Ozark fell off a little bit. It got slow. It's good, but it got a little slow.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
My shit though.
That's good.
I just watched the last season. I was like, man, this is a good show. Like I like it.
They did with Will Smith and a Gemini, man. SMD is saying that Ron Perlman should still play Sabretooth. They just CGI him.
Oh, jeez.
Ron Perlman's too old. No.
Ron Perlman's really old now. I just saw him at Cleveland Con, and he's old now. He's up there. He's up there.
Yeah, man. It's so much stuff out nowadays, and I think that's a great thing. It's a beautiful time we're living in. That all this stuff.
It is a beautiful time that
we only used to imagine is real. It's brought to life now, and like, dude, think back when we were kids. Did we ever think half this stuff you would actually see? And now they're making it like it's hotcakes.
Yep.
So I think that's a beautiful thing. It's just kind of where's it going to go is the question.
Yeah.
What are
they gonna do? Like, and I don't know. So my thing, I haven't been outside of comics for a while and more into the anime manga side and the manhwa side. Like, there's a lot of cool stories that I like going on there that I'd love to see, them do something with. I don't know about live action stuff.
They've never made a good anime yet, though.
Yeah, the live action anime stuff.
It's really bad.
Be adapted.
Bad.
They're making a One Piece, right?
Are they? Oh gosh, that just sounds
production.
That just sounds horrendous. That just sounds bad. Like
it's too big.
It's way too big. Avatar, the Airbender, since the people left the show, the actual creatives.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I actually heard good things about Avatar.
I hope it's good. I pray it's.
Are they doing another Avatar?
Yeah, I actually heard some good things about Avatar. Avatar is doable.
Oh yeah, it's
One Piece, Naruto, Dragon, any of the big. Giant.
I don't want to see those as
Shogun. Well, not Shoguns. What's it called? What's the Japanese word for
anime? Manga anime.
Specifically.
Oh, you're like shonen.
Shonen. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're too big.
Yeah.
They're way too big.
They might be able to do something like Jujutsu Kaisen. Like
that was newer. It's not that long yet.
It's newer, and it's also not quite as over the top with the action.
Demon Hunter the same. Like they can pull
Demon Hunter they could do. Like those ones are a lot
Naruto,
less.
One Piece, like they're just too big. Too many characters.
Get into these characters that can destroy the planet with with their powers, it gets a little weird, man. Like to do it live action, it's just too much.
Granted, I could adapt Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is one I actually could adapt. I would have to change some things, but I think Dragon Ball is doable because even though it's big, the characters don't change that much.
No,
but once you get into like Naruto and stuff, there's so many characters, so many stories, and Bleach and all that stuff. It's too much.
Yeah, Bleach is a lot.
It's difficult. Like people don't understand how much time and how many people make a movie. They don't get it. And when I read people's comments and some stuff like, "Did you make it?" Like, you make it. Like, you don't know what these people have to go through to make a movie, yo.
But
no idea. First of all, the thing that pisses me off the most with people that criticize writers and the people who make this stuff, I'm like, this is the first thing I always say to them. I go, even people who start off making films, I go, you want to know what it takes to be a good writer? It's called line accountant.
Yeah.
What? Ooh, what's that? I said a line accountant is literally an accountant that goes through your script line by line and determines how much everything you wrote is going to cost.
Exactly.
You have to be able to write to budget, and you don't understand how hard that is.
That movie was in production hell, and that was the best script that we could get.
Oh, geez.
We went through like 20 to 25, and because
oh my gosh,
it was terrible.
It was bad.
Could have got. Yeah, I mean, I keep
Mortal Kombat was bad. It was so bad. Like they could have just they could have just remade the old one and it'd have been better.
Exactly.
The first one still
Like,
bombed though. That's
Yeah,
the
that was
crazy
the first
part.
one was
How
good.
they get the
Like,
first one right and all of them terrible?
yeah,
I don't understand
why did
what happens
why
when it comes to scripts, man. It takes an army.
what even possessed them to create this new character out of nothing
Bro,
and
I
put
don't know.
like
They were doing some
why?
Call
Star
it
Wars.
merchandising.
They were doing some Star Wars shit like
Yeah,
that.
like I
Oh,
mean,
what?
it doesn't take an army to make a great script. It doesn't. It takes
No, it
talent.
doesn't.
It takes talent and experience. When it
Mhm.
comes to big scripts, big movies, period, it really ain't about the script no more. It really is. It's about the director. You got because you can have an amazing script.
Mm-hmm.
If you got an average or beginning director, you got a problem. Doesn't matter how great the script is. If the director don't know what he's doing, you got a problem. Or you could take a half-ass script, a really great director, and still be cool. So, you know, when it comes to really big movies, it really does. People don't realize it really, really does fall on the director.
Yeah.
It really, really does. On the execution, how you going to pull stuff off, how you're going to make all that come together, and so forth, and bring everybody that's necessary to make it all work. Like, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, man. And the problem is that there really aren't that many. It's not so much that there aren't great directors. There aren't a lot of great directors that have the experience,
Right?
Because they don't get the chance to have the experience,
Right.
For various reasons.
There's only so many mature directors left, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many dudes that can jump in front of a ginormous, you know what I mean, IMAX cameras and so forth, and $100 million and go, all right, we know what to do. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm real talk. Like, I'm new. Like, I've been doing this for a while. You put $100 million in front of me, I'm nervous.
Yeah. That's a budget, bro. That's a budget.
That's a budget with consequences.
Every dollar has to be accounted for.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You really got to know what you're doing, man. And not a lot of people really know what they're doing.
You got to make your actors happy. You got to make everybody happy. And
that takes a lot of experience. And you see, and I think it's a little weird right now, especially you see with like Marvel, because Marvel and they brought in all these indie directors. You know what I mean? Look at the first Spider-Man, same Raimi. Like, Raimi made just Evil Dead and like very simple early on movies. But Raimi been making movies for years. So he was just waiting for a big budget, right? Same even with what's his face? Guardians of the Galaxy. What's his name?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Gunn never really made a big movie till then, but he been like, if anybody knows Troma, I've known the guys in Troma for years. They spit out stuff, whether it's good or not. They work.
Matter if it's
so
trash,
he had the experience, right? Even take like a Ridley Scott and all that stuff. Ridley made commercials for years before he made his first movie. So like these guys earn their weight. They know what to do with the crew and what to do. But a lot of these other kids, especially coming out of film school and stuff now, so they don't got a clue.
They're just giving them a chance
what to do, and they're giving some chances, but it's like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you can't give somebody a chance at $400 million, you know, before they've cut their teeth at $20. You know what I mean? Like you gotta,
SMD. It would be nice if they made a live action Akira. Oh boy, let's not.
Did you see Ghost in the Show? They need time.
Akira has been in production hell for years. The problem with Akira is it keeps getting bound. People keep buying it. That's the problem.
Yeah, it keeps
like Leonardo DiCaprio owned it for a while. And James Cameron owned it for a while, and it just like people keep selling and buying it.
Weird.
So it's one of those weird projects where like
endless.
It keeps changing hands, and like people are literally buying it to just make money off of it.
Off of buying it, off of buying and selling it again.
That's what Leo did. So that's like it's that hot of a property still. Like everybody wants to make an Akira. It's like
I feel like those movies, like the 90s anime, Akira, Wicked City, Neo Tokyo, like those movies could be done too because they're not so over the top.
But the problem, Akira could be made. 100%.
Yeah, I think
the thing with Akira is it's the greatest animated movie ever made.
Right. Yeah,
that's the problem.
And to do it justice,
it's not that you can't. No, I mean you can do it justice. It's just, do you really want to taint
Right.
The greatest animated
Oh,
movie
yeah, it's a masterpiece.
ever made. Let me
The
explain some things about
masterpiece.
Akira, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, since we in the art and we all talk, let's explain a little bit. Akira to this day is the only animated film
that I
was
could
made in actual 24 frames per second.
over.
So 24 frames is the
Yeah.
same as film.
That's
right?
real
It's the
film.
same
Yep.
thing we choose real film.
Yep.
Most animations are made in only 12 frames, so it's 12 pictures per frame, right?
Yep.
It
12
was
or even
completely
7,
made
like the
in 24
Flintstones.
frames. That's why if you watch Akira right now,
Mhm.
it still holds up. It still looks better than most all animes you've ever seen.
Yep.
Yep.
Then let's get into just the craziness of it.
The amount of detail that they
The bike
they did.
scenes.
The beauty.
The bike scenes. They use 1,000. I'll never forget this number. 1,265 different shades of black to make the night scene for Akira.
Dude, the scene
level
where
of artistry in Akira is insane.
the police,
bro,
the police
will never
scene
be duplicated or
No.
probably never seen ever again.
No one's going to take the time.
No,
Never.
the amount of detail that they decided to go with, like the police scene where they came in and the other psychics came in the first time, and all that paper was flying around when the helicopter came in. And the fact that they animated every single sheet of that paper at 24 frames per second
Insane,
for like 10 seconds, like, dude,
it's insane.
Yep,
Lord,
yep. This is the
How
reason
many people?
like,
how long did it take them to make it?
make Akira. I have no idea. I don't know how long it took.
10
honestly.
years?
No, it
I think
had
it was
to be
like 10 years.
Yeah, it had to be like a decade. Yeah, it was a long time.
There's no way. They'll never make anything like that again.
No, they'll never, ever again.
So could you make a great? Yes, you could make a great Akira movie. You could expand on it because the comic books went a lot further and all this other stuff. But it's like,
Mhm.
do you really want?
Do you want that responsibility?
The
No,
greatest
never,
animated film ever made.
As a director, I would not want that to be in my hands. Sorry.
Nope.
I'll take anything else before I take Akira. Real talk.
Yep.
I think Dragon Ball is doable. I think a lot of anything but the really big shonens. Minus Dragon Ball.
What story would you do in Dragon Ball?
So I'd have to cut. I'd have to change some things. So the biggest problem with Dragon Ball is it's so ridiculous fantasy that you got to ground some of it in reality for a movie for it to make sense.
Right.
So you got to do something with. They're not on Earth because they say they're on Earth, but like there's fucking dog people and pig
and
people
dinosaurs,
and crazy shit and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So like you got to somehow explain that, right? That's the first thing. I think I even know how to explain it. I'll probably do something like it's like Earth 4 or some shit, right? It's like a colonized version of Earth way in the distant future. That's how I would explain that somehow. And then it's easy to throw in the rest because, all right, we're on a different planet that was colonized and whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And then you can start throwing in a bunch of shit. That's kind of where I would start.
But which arc would you do? Would you do Frieza, Cell? Like who would you?
I'd start him from baby. I would start from Dragon Ball.
So you do actual Dragon Ball.
I'd start him from a little kid and work your way up. That's the only way.
Yeah.
I mean, you could start him from somewhere around Z and explain it, but you run the hassle of pissing off the fans too much. Like Dragon Ball is way too loved.
Fandom is ridiculous today too.
Yeah.
So if you want to be safe and not piss off the fans, start from
Dragon Ball. Yeah,
just build them up. Start from the tournament.
Crazy right now.
That's what I would do.
That'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see the actual Dragon Ball. Like as a movie, I think that could be done. Like
I know it would play Master Roshi. That's crazy part.
Who you casting as Roshi?
What's his face? Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson. What's his name?
You're talking about
what is his name? From Spider.
He would be Master Roshi.
He's in everything. 100%. He's a good voice actor too.
Yeah. Hell of everything, but on top of it, he's actually in the shape.
Yeah.
He's like Diesel as fuck. Like he's Master Roshi.
He's crazy.
I don't know who would play Goku. I had that
Goku's
Asian, particularly Asian. Yes.
Nah, I wouldn't necessarily have to keep him Asian because you can keep him an alien. You just really need to explain the alien part. So I wouldn't necessarily keep him Asian.
Most of them are aliens.
Because most Asian dudes ain't gonna be big enough to beat Goku. If anybody I would consider playing Goku. I forget the kid's name. He's a young kid. He's actually in the running to play He-Man for the live action. I forget his name. He's a Latin kid, actually. I forget his fucking name. But he looks like a combination of like
he's in Black.
Who's the Twilight kid?
Oh,
not the wolf kid.
The vampire. The dude who played Batman.
No, who played the wolf?
What was his name? What was the wolf's name? I don't remember his name.
I forget his name. He looks like a combination of him and somebody else put together.
I know exactly.
The kid's like a big diesel.
His name is Nick something. I don't know.
Yeah, he looks like Goku. He looks like Goku.
And I can see it.
And he's young enough. So I would start there, work my way back. Yeah, you could pull off Dragon Ball because there's not that many characters. All the characters kind of stay the same. But once you get into Naruto and the rest, forget about it.
Yeah, that's nuts. There's a lot.
If I would actually really try and make an anime, and if I was a studio and what you would put your money on is something that would work, I would do Macross.
That could work. Yeah,
Macross could easily work.
Macross, or even or Gundam. I think Gundam could work too.
Gundam can actually work.
Gundam can work.
You do Transformers, you can do Gundam.
Yeah, I think Gundam could work.
I would do Gundam Wing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
Gundam Wing or Iron Blood. I love.
Yeah, you can do everything. You can do Ronin Warriors. You can do all that.
Ooh, Robotech.
Robotech is Macross. So yeah, I would do that. If I would start anywhere with an anime and have any chance of success.
What I don't understand is how they messed up something like Death Note. I don't understand how they messed that up. Like that seems like a story that could have been done easily
and
perfect. Just follow the damn some stuff you just follow. Just follow the story.
Yeah,
and then they had William Dafoe as the voice of what's his name. Like it could have been
was perfect.
So well, it could have went so well, but it so wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was perfect for what's his name?
For the voice.
Well.
Yeah,
but the movie is just garbage.
It's trash.
Yeah, I don't understand how they messed that up. Like out of all anime, like there's some animes that just seem like they would work for live action.
There's a ton that would work.
Yeah,
there's a ton that would work.
Death Note was Death Note. What's the other one that would be interesting? He's another genius dude like Death Note. He has like an eye that he can read people's minds, or he can control people for a period of time.
Probably another one of the greatest animes ever made, in my opinion. Code Geass.
Geass, that's what it was. Yep, codename Geass. That one was really good. I feel like they could do that one. That one would be really good. Real cerebral.
Oh, they tried.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop, man.
They tried.
Don't even get me started with Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop, they needed really, really good fighting for Cowboy Bebop to be good. Like
that wasn't even the problem. That wasn't the problem.
That was
there were a whole lot of other problems they had before they even got to the fight scene.
I didn't watch it. I didn't see it. They wanted to change. They wanted to change too much stuff. Like you. Okay, so you have a character who being sexy is the whole thing about the character, and you're like, nah, we're gonna cover her up, and it's like
that wasn't even a problem.
Why?
That wasn't even a problem. They just went. They just didn't.
They
didn't go there. They just didn't go there. That's the problem. They didn't go as deep as they needed to go.
Did they tell the story? Like, was it the same story as actual?
Some of it was, and then some of it wasn't.
They just made it up.
And here's the deal: what's the name that played Bebop? Wasn't horrible. It was just they just didn't do enough.
Didn't do enough. Yeah,
they just didn't go there.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
They could have went there. That's the problem. They could have went there. They just chose not to.
I swear, man. Yeah, so back on comic books. Right now, I've been catching up. I was off of comic books for a while. I started catching up. What was I reading last? It was really, really good. A really different kind of story. Heard they might be making that one into a movie. It's called East by West or West by East or something like that.
I feel like I've heard of that.
It's a really weird but interesting story. It's like what if? It's like a lot of what ifs. It's like what if Black people were freed from slavery back in the day. and Indians weren't taking over, and so and like basically like the English and white people didn't take over completely America, and America was split into halves. And so like one half is like the Native American, the nation of
like
whatever
that got
so
canceled.
forth.
Yeah.
One side is like down south, and it's all like where Africans freed from slave and took over. So like from like Louisiana over to whatever, and that's all like, and it's like pyramids and like all this other type of stuff. And then there's like Texas is just Texas, and it's still like cowboys and wild shit. And then like north is. It was really interesting, and then it goes, but then it gets weird, and it goes into like some shit with like the Four Horsemen and the apocalypse and all this wild stuff. And apparently they're supposed to, and like the West Coast was all China, but apparently like they're actually making it. Like it's supposed to, I think it's coming to Netflix or some shit like that. Netflix, but it was called like East by West or something like that. And it's if everybody get a chance, read that book. It's very, very interesting. I was reading that, and then I was reading Lazarus. That was pretty good. A real simple action kind of story where it's like post-apocalyptic, and America's ran by these families, these fractions of families that are split into different sections of the world of America, and each family has these like enforcers that are basically like these genetic engineered specimens of people they create basically to kind of like be their enforcers when the shit really needs to go down, as well as like controlling the military and all that kind of stuff. And it's based on like the one enforcer for this one family that controls one section of America. And she basically starts to find out the truth because none of them know that they were like manufactured and that they could be manufactured over and over again if need be. And then she ends up freeing her clones, and then all her clones form an army, and then it kind of goes from there. And it's interesting. And once again, another one they're supposed to be making a movie of. Cool. So like, yeah, those are like some of the ones I was reading last, and they're old. Like I'm like catching up right now.
Apparently. That's what's up. That's good stuff.
I read what's his face that be on Kevin Smith's show, Mark Bernard. I read his new comic.
Oh, it's pretty good. About his daughter. Yeah, he's up for an Eggie for like the Oscars of comic books, and like he's up for an award.
It's pretty good.
It's getting like it got incredible reviews because
the artwork's great.
Daughter has autism and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to read it because I mean I love Mark Bernard a lot.
Yeah, that dude.
Man, he's making waves right now too. I want to know what he's working on. Like he's so like
he's always like he's jumping like show to show, and he's got to follow what the showrunners and what the people are doing. I'm like, yo, get that dude his own movie, man. Like,
give him something.
Give him something where he can just do him. Because like, yo, if you ever watched Robert, you ever watched like Kevin Smith's podcast?
No, I haven't seen his podcast.
Go watch his podcast. So he has a co-host. His name is Mark Bernard. He's a writer. He used to write for LA Times, and then he left LA Times.
And did Entertainment Weekly, and now he's making shows.
And he's just a straight up writer now. But dude, they'll talk about movies and stuff the same way we're doing, but then he'll just have better ideas for like everything and start breaking it down. Like I would make it like this, I would do this, I would change the character like that. You'd be like, why didn't they hire him? And now he's getting hired because of
his reviews are like fucking spot on all the time too. Right? Always spot on.
He used to be a movie critic, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so like just he's great. I just want to know what he's working on right now. He won't talk about it. He can't.
He was working on Picard, and that was trash. So
Picard was horrible.
Jeez. That's what I heard. That was another one of those.
I'm so happy nostalgias. Picard is over after this. Like after
trash, bro.
Was it just a bunch of? It was a bunch of nostalgia too.
I think they're going to drop everything and just stick with Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds is good. That feels like Star Trek.
I agree with you. Is
it a new? Is it a new ship, new captain, all that stuff?
It's before Kirk.
Oh,
so it's the Enterprise before Kirk.
Yeah, with Spock and Uhura. Yeah.
So it's like what happened before Kirk got there.
Interesting.
Because they actually talk about Captain Pike, and they talk about Captain Pike actually in the Star Trek, universe kind
Discovery.
of deal.
Right. They talk
So
about
like you actually find out who Pike is and
Yeah.
how it
they talked
led
about
to
him in
Picard.
Next Generation. They talked about
Yeah.
Pike in Next Generation
Yeah, like maneuvers.
because he was an admiral in Next Generation. You hear about Admiral Pike every now and again.
Yeah. So like it's all about Pike and what led to however Pike ends to becoming Kirk.
Interesting.
It's really
It
good.
doesn't suck. It's actually good.
Actually, Star Trek again.
Yeah.
I was missing horribly because Star Trek is not Star Trek right now, except Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, the last Star Trek that I really watched was
Terrible.
Voyager. Voyager was the last one I watched. And,
Voyager's just
That was the last good. That was the last good thing to watch. Star Trek.
Space Nine, I was considered was the last good one. Like, but
yeah, Deep Space Nine was good. Yeah, it was really good.
I still watch Deep Space Nine.
I would watch all of them up until 2009. Like Enterprise, the movies, they're all straight garbage.
Yeah.
Discovery, hate Picard, hate. I don't even like Lower New Decks. I like Prodigy. I like Strange New Worlds. That's it.
I didn't like Prodigy. I tried to get into it.
I rode with it. I had to finish it. I'm not a fan of it, but Strange New Worlds is where it's at.
Much better. I was like, finally, Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give that a try. Let's check it out because I've been so far away from TV in general, like just watching stuff.
That's the funny thing though. I don't want a lot of stuff. Like I only watch stuff that is particularly good. I watch a lot of documentaries.
Exactly. I only watch good. If it's got a chance of being really good, I'll stick around for it.
Yeah. If it's not good, I'll cut it off after like the third episode. I won't ever
because it's so much now. It's just so much stuff. It just keeps coming out. Like
there's too much
so
to watch.
Many shows.
It's as bad as all the channels that used to be on cable. You know, you have all these channels and nothing good to watch.
Now. It is way worse now.
Yep.
It's so much stuff, man. It's ridiculous. You can't keep up with it. So you got to just choose. Like at this point, it's not even choosing of like what I like. It's just choosing, okay, what's really good. What's really, really good? What's really, really not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so, but it's some good stuff, man. But yeah, man, dude. Once again, man, love the work. I'm loving everything that I see, man. I hope to see some. I'd like to see a mural. I need a big giant mural in Pittsburgh, wherever you are, sir.
You're in Columbus, right? Are you in Columbus,
Ohio?
I'm in Columbus, but
I need a big mural somewhere of your work, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find work,
bro.
Work. Yeah.
Well, definitely, dude. Well, once we get off here, I'll send you some stuff for sure.
Definitely,
it's some people most definitely to connect on the East Coast with.
Heck,
and
I love meeting new people, other creatives, other people who are in the field for sure.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, man, that's pretty much it. I appreciate everybody for coming, rocking with us until the end. You guys are absolutely amazing. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe, turn on your notifications. Click that bell. We'd love to have you. And we're going to be rocking out going forward, man. We got a lot.
Yes, sir. Get ready. We're going to start releasing some clips and stuff like that more. We've been a little lazy with that. We definitely got to get on that more. So definitely some more clips of the show and stuff you guys will be seeing soon. And yeah, we got much more to come, man, for sure. Right. I will be out in Pittsburgh with Rob towards the end of this month. And we're going to do a few things and start putting together some stuff towards a workshop. I got a workshop coming up soon as well. I'll start putting some things out with that as soon as we're done. I'll be doing a big cosplay shoot, kind of. I've been on this 80s kick lately. So we're doing Lisa from Weird Science.
Oh, nice.
So that's what we're going to base the workshop around a bit. So, yeah, man. So some good stuff coming up for sure, guys. Tune in with us. And same time, same channel, all that good stuff.
Facts. All right, guys. Peace.
Thanks for having me.